Hello and welcome to my channel, On the Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style. Let's find out what's been on the hook. I've only been gone for a couple of days. This is Wednesday. I did a giveaway video Monday. It was about 45 minutes, and that is much longer than I'm used to doing, but I just had so much to cover. So that doesn't happen this Friday. I was coming on today, and I want to show you a few things that I have acquired, a project that I've started, so what's new, and some progress on a project, and a couple of questions I want to answer. Well, let me do that first. And of course, what I'm wearing, the Greeneyed Lady scarf, which I wear quite often, and I just happened to have this on today, and I thought I'm going to record, so I'm just going to leave it on. I'm wearing it over a black turtleneck sweater, and it's fairly long. It's a pretty long scarf. The pattern is beautifully done. It's Fire and Ice by Underground Crafter. I'll put a link, as I always do, down in my description box so that you can find that pattern if you want to make it. It is a wonderful pattern. I will take it off one more time. It's the last time I'm going to show this. I show it all the time. This is the Greeneyed Lady shawl, made in a hand-dyed green yarn. Very beautiful. It's not hard to make at all. It is a symmetrical scarf in a triangle shape, so both sides are the same length, and they have the round ends, which I've shown before. I really like the round ends on the end of the triangle. They're very beautiful. I love the way they hang. They're not sharp. They look really nice when you wear it either under a denim jacket, or you can wear it to work, stay warm at your desk, which is what I do. I like to stay warm at my desk. So I have 3 of these shawls, all made out of different yarns. And I'll probably wear those in the next month or so, because then it might be a little bit too warm to wear these. But this is not a hot scarf. It's done in wool and nylon, so it's a really squishy, nice yarn. I mentioned the silk scarf that I was wearing on my very first video, and it was kind of a purple colored silk scarf, and I did a video about it. I put a link to it, and several people watched the video, and they said that's not the Nastasia pattern, and they were exactly right. It was the Elena triangle scarf, and this is by Little Haven Crochet. See, that's the scarf I had on. It wasn't the other one. So it wasn't by Nastasia, although I have done one of her scarves, and they're quite beautiful, but this is not the one that was on my very first video. So I wanted to bring that up and tell y'all that you can get this from Little Haven Crochet. I'll put the link down in the description box to her pattern. And you know, I went back on Thursday's video and I put the link in the description box there, but a lot of you had missed it because you watch my videos quickly. Then any changes that I make you wouldn't notice in the description box, but her link is there. So just wanted to let you know that was a correction from last Thursday. Now, I have been working on my sweater. I haven't named it yet. It's made from the Knit Crate yarn in the Titmouse colorway, and it's yellow, blue, and kind of a gray color. And I'll put a picture of it right here on the blocks. I'm currently blocking that sweater, and it will be ready to wear on Friday. So when I come back on Friday and we do our giveaway announcement, I will have that sweater on. I'm also writing the pattern, and I hope I'll have it finished by the weekend. I really don't know that I will, but I'm going to try to do that. I've had several people ask me when the pattern was coming out. So I haven't named it yet, and I haven't finished the pattern, but hopefully by Friday I'll have all that done. The sweater took... And I did calculate this because I weighed the yarn that I had left, and I calculated how much I had used. I had used 271 grams of fingering weight yarn, and the yarn was in 400 yard balls that I had wound into a ball. And I used 2 full balls plus 71 grams of another. So I used 271 grams of yarn. And if you're not used to weighing things, that's about 9.5 ounces. But I have a small scale that is fairly accurate, and it reads in ounces. So when I get the number of ounces, I come to the computer and I Google what is 9.5 ounces, and it says 271 grams. So if I have 400 yards in a ball, and that's 100 grams, then every gram is 4 yards. So the total that I used for my sweater was 1,084 yards, or 271 grams. So I just wanted to let y'all know that some people are buying yarn to make this sweater. So I wanted to be sure you had enough. It took me 1,084 yards. So if you're making, and that's a fairly small sweater, it's not very long, but I'm blocking it and I'm stretching it a little bit to see if I can get a little more length out of it. And I'm also blocking it so that the mesh will open up a little bit and that the size will be even. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know that when I was making the sweater, I was showing that the mesh had drawn in just a little bit. So when I put it on the blocks downstairs and I sprayed it with water, the mesh, opened up, and I stretched it out so that when it dries, it should hold its shape. And let's just hope that it does, because it's a beautiful sweater. I made it short sleeves, and I put mesh here to match the mesh on the hem of the sweater. I did not put mesh at the neckline, and you'll see all that on Friday, and I'll give you the details of it, and I'll wear it and I'll get up to the camera and you can see all the detail that went into the sweater. It's not hard to make. It's just a little bit different from my others, and it's also made in fingering yarn, which is a step out for me, the fingering yarn. I really have only used fingering yarn to make shawls and cowls and scarves. I have not made a sweater from fingering yarn, wool fingering yarn, excuse me. I have made 3 or 4 sweaters from a number 2 cotton yarn, and on Friday I'm going to be talking about that because I'm looking forward to spring, and I'm getting some of my projects together, and I want to show you what I'm working on, or what I'm thinking about. I'm not actually working on it, but I think by Friday I'll have some of that done, and I can show you some of the colors that I'm going to use and the patterns I'm going to use to make the sweaters. So that will be on Friday, and we'll talk about that. And hopefully I'll have this pattern ready to go on Friday, or at least on Saturday. I usually do a sweater rollout on Saturday where I talk all about the sweater, and that way you can watch it or not. If you're not interested, you don't have to watch that particular video. And we're not just chit-chatting, we're talking about one item. Now today I want to talk about a couple of acquisitions that I've made. The other day I said that I wanted to do some videos about reviews. I wanted to review some crochet hooks, and I want to review some yarn and some other things, just whatever crochet related, maybe even some patterns. I don't know. I'm really not much into criticizing patterns because I've done that before and I felt kind of bad about it, although I usually, in fact, I don't think I ever said the name of the person who designed this particular pattern that I was kind of critical of because it had a lot of mistakes in it. And to me, that's very irritating. That means that either they weren't tech edited, they're called, where a technician goes through and makes sure that everything is exactly like it should be, and tested by other crocheters who actually follow the directions and say, yeah, these are great, or what's wrong with this? I don't understand this step. And I haven't had a lot of those complaints with my patterns. I don't have a lot of stitch counts, and I think that is one of the problems with the bigger patterns that have all the different stitch counts for all the different sizes. They do have problems sometimes in exponentially sizing up a sweater, for example. Sometimes it's not exactly the same between one size and another. It's maybe the arms are a little bit longer or bigger, or the hips are wider than a regular 3X or 2X or even a 10 or a 12. And so it's very tricky to figure out exactly what is going to fit everybody. That's why I try to just do outlines. I try to just do measurements so that when you make a sweater, it will fit you. That is my focus, and you all know that. Now, acquisitions I have made are I have one extra crochet hook that I am not showing today. It's just in a box, and I already tried it, and it's not going to make it. It's not what I thought it was. But I did buy some furl hooks, F-U-R-L, and I'll be doing a review on those probably next week. I hope I can get it together enough to do a review on these. I have tried one or two of the furl hooks. I bought different kinds, different styles, and I can tell you right now I'm not in love with them, but I'm just not used to using them. So I'm going to, over the weekend, try to use these furl hooks more than my clover hooks and see if I can get used to the feel of the hook and the swing of the hook and the weight of the hook, all that, and the material that it's made from. These are made from wood and from highly polished plastic, I guess you could say. And the clover hooks are made with a rubberized hand grip, and it's just so effortless to use these. They're very, very light, and it's going to be really tough to beat a clover in my book. I've tried lots of crochet hooks, but this is my very, very favorite, the clover hooks. And because you don't have to grab them very hard, because they're not sticky, but the rubber, you know, it's easier to hold on to than it is to polished wood or a finely polished plastic. So you have to grab them a little harder when they're made of a slick material. And because it's a little fatter, that doesn't really matter to me. It's how hard I have to push the hook through the yarn. And in order to do that, if I have to grab it harder because it's made of something slick, then that's not useful for me, but it might be for somebody else. There are some reviews, and I've been looking at some on YouTube, and some people are just, they think furl hooks are the best things that have ever been invented. And I never saw anybody say anything bad about them, so I hope I'm not the only one out there that's going to do that. And not that I'm going to say something bad. I'm going to use them this weekend, and I'm going to see if I can get used to that particular grip that is part of a luxury crochet hook, which is how they're marketed, as a luxury crochet hook. Part of that is the price, and part of that is the perception that they are better than the less expensive hooks. I don't consider clover hooks cheap at all. You can pay anywhere from $4 to $12 for one of these, depending on the size. I think this big one that I used at the beginning of my show was about $15. But it's huge. I mean, it's really big, and it's a wonderful hook. I've made several Afghans with this. Remember, I made some for my girlfriends one Christmas, and I made them with that hook, and it was wonderful. It was just great. As I put the picture of my Knit Crate sweater on the video a few minutes ago, you would see some yellow knitting blocks. And I ordered some, and they came. And these are white with black lines on them. And the brand name is Hephaestus, Hephaestus. And I'll put the link down in the description box of where you can get these. I got them on Amazon. They were $27. I know that seems like a lot, but I'll be doing a lot of blocking, and I want to have plenty of blocks. I don't want to have to move from one block to another. I want to make a big square and use it for maybe more than one piece at a time. So this will allow me to do that. Even if I have to set it up on the floor, I can set up 18 blocks of 12 by 12. And that's a good space. That's very, very good space. You can block pretty much anything on that. And if you put them in a line, and you can block as long a scarf as you want and not run out of block. So I wanted to show these to you that they did come, and they also come with a measuring tape, which was a nice bonus. I didn't know that was in the box. And the box of T-pins that come in the box, so you can immediately start blocking. You don't have to go out and find T-pins to attach your garment to the blocks. So those are the two acquisitions that I made this week. Actually, there's one other. Before I show you that, let me show you this. This is the progress I've made on my Knit Crate new sweater that has the ribbing at the bottom, and I just want to show it to you. This is also a sport or fingering weight yarn, and I've made a little bit of progress, not much. I've done probably 5 rows on it, But that takes time. It's a boxy sweater and it's big. Look how big this is. I don't think it's too big. Let me show you. Because I start at the side seam right here. And here's the side seam here. So look at the ease in this. It's going to have a lot of ease. It will have at least 6 inches of ease around. Compared to my Highlander sweater, it was 16 inches, I remember now. Anyway, that's what this one looks like. This one has the ribbing at the bottom. It's going to be very pretty. I'm going to put some ribbing elsewhere on it as well. It will be a short sleeve sweater, and it will be made out of sport yarn. And this is the yarn that came in the Knit Crate box. It's called Flirt, and it's very squishy and very comfortable. It's going to be very, very soft to wear. I won't have any problem wearing this. This is so beautiful. And I'm really embracing this size yarn for summer. I really like it. I'm not really crazy about size 4 yarn in the summer, but my next project I'm going to show you is a size 4. I'm making this with an H hook. This is an H hook, and I bought an H furl hook, so I might switch over to that and see how it crochets. So I'll be putting that back in the project bag that it lives in, and we'll see how the furls crochet hook goes this weekend. Finally, I have been watching Cinnamon Stitch's YouTube podcast, and the host's name is Jennifer. She's a very sweet girl, lots of fun, and she's out there. She tells you like it is, and I know that she loves Premier Yarn. She talks about it often and had talked about it, and then they sent her a letter and asked her to sponsor one of the Try Me packs, which I did see and I did like, and I almost ordered. And then I saw Jennifer on her YouTube channel talking about it, so I thought, well, I'm going to pop out there and just buy the Try Me pack. It has her name on it, and I know she's excited about that. She talked about that on her YouTube channel. And let me just show you this. This is the letter that comes in the Try Me pack. And it's got a message from Jennifer, very sweet message from her, talking about why she chose these colors and all about how old she is, what her life experience is, when she learned to crochet, and how she learned and all that. It's a very nice letter. The Try Me pack that Premier asks her to select the colors for is the 3 skeins are cream, soft peach, and coral. I'll show those to you in a second. But this is they're anti-pilling everyday worsted yarn. This is very soft yarn, I have to say. This is the cream color that is one of the colors in Jennifer's Try Me pack. There are 3 skeins of yarn. This is Premier Everyday in the cream color. It also, she selected the coral, which is this color, and it is beautifully rich and very, very soft. Look how much I've used. I've been working on this project, and I want to tell you about that as well. The third color is the I think it's the soft peach. This is soft peach. Oh, so beautiful. Just a gorgeous color. And I have these on my thumbnail. When you look at my YouTube video, you'll see these, but I held them up like that. These are just gorgeous together. Spring, spring, spring. That's it. Just screams spring to me. So I went out and I bought the Try Me pack. It came in the mail. It was $8.99 for 3 skeins of yarn, which is about $3 a piece. That's not bad. Shipping was $5, so they really got me on the shipping. It was $13.66 to buy this Try Me pack that Jennifer sponsored. And she's also going to, she released a pattern for a beautiful shawl that she made with another Try Me pack that was done in blues. So I bought the yarn and I started it this morning at 6:30 while I was having my coffee. And I chained up and I started it, and I've used the coral and the soft peach so far. And this is what it looks like. It is beautiful. And it's made in what looks like it's going to be an asymmetrical, whoops, a little too high. It looks like it's going to be an asymmetrical shawl. Increases only on one side. It's very, very easy to make. It's not difficult at all. I followed the directions. She's actually going to put a tutorial on her Facebook group. So go out and join her Facebook group. It's Cinnamon Stitches Facebook group. It's easy to find. You just Google it or go on Facebook and search groups and then Cinnamon Stitches. And the pattern is out there. I printed the pattern off last night It's a 2-page pattern, very, very simple. There's no name on here, and if she's named it, I apologize. I do not know the name of her shawl. I'm calling it the Cinnamon Stitches shawl, but I'm sure there's probably a name for it that she's calling it. So, Jennifer, if you have a name, then send me a comment and let me know what the name of your shawl is. It's not at the top of your pattern. I didn't see it on there. It didn't print out anyway. So it takes 600 yards of a number 4 yarn, and you can crochet along with Jennifer. She's going to do a tutorial on this. I don't know if it's just one piece or 3 videos or what. I don't know what it's going to be. But I'm on row 45, and it's just been today. I crocheted a little bit this afternoon, and I crocheted this morning for about an hour having my coffee, so it goes very, very fast. Now I will say, and this is just an aside, I did buy a J furl hook, okay, because I use a J all the time. And this is made with a J hook, right up my alley. When she said that, I thought, I'm having that. I'm making that shawl because I don't have anything that color, and I'm excited about that. So I bought the furls hook in the J, and I did a couple of rows with it, and I just didn't like it. I'm going to have to work on it. I'm going to really use it this weekend, and hopefully I can fall in love with these furl hooks because they cost a lot of money, and I won't be sending them back. I'm going to keep them. But I bought the 4 sizes that I use all the time, and that would be H, J, I, and K. I bought those 4 hooks in different styles. So I'll talk about that next week. I guess that's all I really had for today. I just wanted to catch up and talk about a few projects that I had in the works, some acquisitions, and answer that question about the shawl in my first video. So I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you again on Friday when we find out what's on the hook.